Okay, Sunday quarterback time. Let's break down this 20-13 loss by Nebraska. Great first half, poor second half, and in the end, they didn't have enough juice to come back to beat the Gophers.
Yeah, Nebraska had a great script on offense and defense, going up 10-0, 4 straight empty possessions to start the game in the first half. They knocked Tanner Morgan out of it. I mean, it was like, wow, they're teeing this thing up for a Mickey Joseph Saturday in Lincoln, and then adjustments happen. I mean, you're playing a coach in PJ Fleck who's been around the block. He's won a lot of games. He's making over $5 million a year. Give them credit. They made adjustments. They settled in. They brought in their number 2 quarterback, and they figured out a way to win this game.
Ethan Kalikamakis. I knew I was going to mess that up.
That's a copy and paste.
Yeah, let's go. Kalikamakis. I'm sorry about that. But he was terrific, right? I mean, he really knew how to – he was kind of like their Logan Smothers, right? He could do things that that Tanner Morgan could not.
Yeah, he kept Nebraska off balance. I felt like when Tanner Morgan and Ibrahim were in there, they have 6 years of film on those guys. I mean, they know how to defend them. He comes in, and it kind of changed the whole flow of how they were playing defense, where Nebraska is very physical and aggressive. Some of that over-aggressiveness kind of backfired and got them off balance a little bit as Minnesota was able to get 20 points on 4 of their second half possessions.
And Mo Ibrahim, you know, that offense in the first half gained -7 yards rushing, and in the second half they gained 141. A lot of it had to do with the backup quarterback loosening up the defense, allowing Ibrahim to find those run lanes. But you got to tip your hat to that guy. That's now his 3rd straight 1,000-yard game and 17 100-plus games in a row. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Minnesota's had a lot of great running backs, but he's going to be one of their better running backs in school history. And you know, they don't. What they do is not fancy, but it works. I mean, PJ Fleck bleeds that game clock down. And it was 3-2-1 every single snap. They know who they are, and they're okay with it. There's not a lot of people in college football that wouldn't want to win the way they do, but PJ Fleck's like, hey, we're winning games.
And even said that. Guys said it in the postgame. The defense did enough to win this game, and that's what really stings for the 2nd straight week.
Yeah, you can't go 7 straight possessions empty. I mean, in this league, especially in a game where you probably only anticipated 8 possessions,
right.
You go 7 in a row with nothing. That's just not acceptable. Nebraska's offense really went into a shell. They got penalties like out of the gates, like a delay a game on a first down.
Right.
I mean, what's going on there? Like, how do you get a delay a game on a change of possession?
It's puzzling now. How do you keep the guys on board? Because now we're at the point, if you're Nebraska, you got 3 games left at Michigan, at home against Wisconsin, at Iowa, teams you haven't beaten in a handful of years. Tough to keep guys on board, right?
Yeah, we knew that this November stretch was daunting, and here it is. We're here now, and you know, they almost pulled off the first leg of it. And we know the second leg is probably the toughest game Nebraska will have on the schedule. Nebraska will more than likely be about a 28 to 30 point underdog in Ann Arbor, if not more.
Isn't that just amazing to think about where we're at right now? I mean, what's a realistic goal here for this 3-week stretch?
Execution on offense, showing improvement. Get Casey Thompson back. I think he brings so much more. If they can get Casey Thompson at Michigan, that Trey Palmer deep ball maybe comes back a little bit more. But Chubba Purdy, I think what's probably the hardest thing to figure out is his arm strength is just not there. Like we thought I thought one of the reporters brought up a great point. Like, what throws does Chubba make that Logan can't?
Right. Because
nobody else is seeing that. You know, like Logan is getting the ball out to guys, giving him a chance to make plays.
Yeah, Sam McEwen brought that up, and I thought that was a great point because. And why did you stick with Chubba so long? I think that's the question that a lot of Husker fans are saying. Listen, this guy gives you a different wrinkle. Why not play him earlier?
Well, we saw 2 of the worst stretches of offense in Memorial Stadium history the last 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, 30 plays for 36 yards, and then the stretch with Chubba Purdy with the 7 empty possessions this week. I mean, it doesn't get any lower than that, and they've got to figure out something. They were great out of the gates on the script, but once the script kind of wore off, the flow of a game, Chubba Purdy struggled in that.
Yeah, 2nd straight week, the Huskers give up 20 unanswered points. Minnesota becomes bowl eligible, while Nebraska falls to 3-6. We will see what happens next week at 5th-ranked Michigan.